Hello everybody, welcome to tonight's live stream. The title says it all, 20-minute max effort. Of course we're trying to achieve that 400 watts that I set myself the goal of about 5-6 weeks ago. Is tonight the night is the question. Making my way over to Zwift to do this effort. If anybody's online, you want to jump on and join? Absolutely, be my guest. Hello everybody. So there's not much to say really. You know the score. 20-minute effort. Yeah. Yeah, I've had pretty good food, pretty good fuel in the last couple of days after that 5-minute effort I did. So ever since then I've been focused on this, getting myself mentally ready. I know what I have to do. Obviously, as funny as it sounds, 400 watts for 20 minutes is the goal. You know, I'm gonna give it my best. You know, ideally I can do this today or get very close today. I'm just focused on today, but I did set myself the goal of doing it before April, which still gives me almost a week. So tonight is kind of, well, it's not a dry run, but yeah, it's still an attempt. So that's all that matters. Now let's see what happens. So the pacing plan, very rough pacing plan. Oh, I'm not wearing aero socks. I'm not wearing aero socks. The rough pacing plan is, I'm breaking it down into a 2-minute effort, an 8-minute effort, a 5-minute effort, then a 3-minute effort, then a 2-minute effort. That's the breakdown. I have different power targets for each of those, and I'll just see how it goes. I'll explain more about that at the end. Only because I want to focus on the effort now. I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Does anybody know actually if, you know, if I get onto the app and I use the lap button, will it appear on the left hand side, or will the laps for Alp to Zwift, that 1, 2, 3, the corners and things, will that take over? I'm not 100% sure. I might have to go into the bottom of the climb first and see, because that would really upset things. Because I need the lap, my lap, not the laps of the turns. Alright, I'll try that first. I'll hit the bottom of the Alp and then we'll see. And then I'll turn around and do it properly. Oh, so many questions. I realise there's quite a few people I don't recognise in the chat, and I'm sorry I can't. I'd really like to talk, but I want to focus, sorry. But welcome, because I don't recognise some of you. So it won't show my laps at all then. Maybe I should have had a look at that before I committed to it. Okay, maybe I'll just go on the timer at the top. We'll see. We will see. How do you toggle it back? Do you just press left or right, is it? What's the Stonehenge button? Oh, that. Oh. So that brings up your current lap. Because I don't want to see the ride stats. I want to see current lap split. Easier on the companion app. Alright, I'll have a look. Oh yeah, I got you. Okay, effort's going to be starting in 10-15 minutes. Get to the bottom of the Alp. I'm just going to ride up a little bit of the Alp first just to see if we can get used to the lap thing, and then so like I said, I've got a rough pacing strategy. I've broken it down into like bite-sized chunks, and I've got some power targets for each of those. I'm kind of going out on a limb. I'm going to go slightly harder for maybe the first 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm going to try, we'll see, I'm going to try and deliberately sort of ride below my target watts for a couple of minutes before trying to surge to the finish. And that's going to be easier said than done. Because really I'm being dictated to by physiology. Like, the longer I spend above critical power, like at some point I'm gonna hit exhaustion. And that is going to happen in this 20 minutes. I've got to hold on. Yeah, I've got to hold on and try to, just try and stick to the plan as well as possible. It's not so much about tricking my brain, it's trying to ride. I'm trying to fluke it, basically. I'm trying to go above the average that I'm trying to sustain, and then the reason why I'm coming back down is because I'm trying to, well, potentially just prevent the delayed exhaustion, and the last 5 minutes it's just going to be absolute. It's going to be hell. So, you know, the test doesn't really start until I get like 15 minutes in. So, yeah. And just to make you aware, I'm not going to have the chat open. So I'm not going to be able to see the chat, because I normally would, but this is going to take, I'm fully aware that this is going to take something exceptional to achieve, so I need to fully concentrate. That's no surprise really, is it? It's going to take absolutely everything, so yeah. Thanks for your understanding. It's actually quite nice having the companion app open. Means I can look down at the power as well, not just always look up. Okay. Oh, okay, quick toilet break, and then we get into it. Alright, let's see you on the other side. Oh, that was pathetic. Oh. Oh. That was pathetic and also very hard. Oh. What have I missed in the chat? Any questions I missed? Because I couldn't answer them before. Oh. It's not over yet, guys. We've still got a week to go. We've still got a week to do it. It's not over. This is why I decided to do it today, because it gives me still a week to fine tune. Ah. Thank you. Okay, so now that I can actually speak, I guess lots of you are wondering why I went out so hard and then obviously paid the price. Well, my goal was to do 400 watts, and if I start below that, I have to try and finish strong. Equally, if I start above that, I've got to try and just hang on. There's no real perfect way of doing it, because what I'm trying to do is almost impossible. It's almost impossible mathematically, because everybody has a finite amount of time they can spend above critical power or above their threshold power. And the longer you spend above it, and the more power you spend above it as well, the more watts you spend above it, the faster you'll fatigue. So, on paper, I know that I can maybe do 10 to 15 minutes just above 400 watts. The question mark is that bit at the end. However, like I said, that's all on paper, so it's all in theory until you actually do it. This is one of the reasons why I decided to do it today instead of leaving it till the last minute, like over the weekend or next week. Because it at least now gives me something to work on. It gives me something to think about over the next couple of days. And hopefully tonight has educated me to perform better. Now, I'm not doing this to try and achieve a higher threshold power. I'm doing it to just try and do my best maximum 20 minutes. So I'm not going to try and calculate and use this as my FTP measure, critical power, whatever. It's purely a 20-minute, as hard as I can go effort. And I know I'm going to get some stick for going out hard, probably from people who haven't watched the video. I can feel it coming. But one of the reasons why I do these things is to put my neck on the line as well, to put myself out of a comfort zone. Everybody's got different comfort zones, and I'm putting myself outside of my comfort zone to do this. It's not about succeeding, it's not about failing, it's about attempting and trying to do it. Those of you that are saying I'd be better doing a negative split rather than a positive split, you are somewhat right. However, I still have to have a ballpark figure of what I can do. And by doing this tonight, I now have a ballpark figure. The problem I have is if I start off at 380 watts, 385 watts, and try and raise it, I might not be able to raise it. I'm not in the game of trying to underpace it. I'm in the game of putting my neck on the line and trying to overpace it and try to hang on. Tonight was an experiment in that. It was an experiment to see how much over I can go and how much will I fade. Well, we know now that starting off at 415 and coming down to 400 and then trying to hold that is not the way. But you've got to try it. You've got to try it. In all these years of riding, that's one thing I've learned, is you've got to try it. So although we've come away from this with, less power than what I did for 20 minutes, 6 weeks ago, it's way less. But I've learned much more. And that's the key takeaway. Any other questions? Yeah, it's a good question. Why not try even pacing and minimise the over and under? Well, I was barely going over 400. I mean, you could call it 415 is obviously 15 watts over, but even if I went to 400, my time to exhaustion would still be around that 10 to 13 minute mark. So going forward now, the next attempt, although, I don't know whether or not to do it indoors or out, but the next attempt would be to do 390 watts rather than 410 or 400 to 410. Do 390 watts and then try and hold that for as long as possible. It's not that I refuse to admit, it's evident that I can do more than what I did 6 weeks ago. It's evident that I can do more. But it's about how much more. My career 26, yes, you don't need to tell me. But as I've said again, I had to go out on a whim. I don't know how many times I've got to say it. I gotta overpace. I gotta overpace to trial to see what I'm capable of doing. If I underpace, yes, I'll finish, but I don't know if I've got more in me. That's why I went out the way I did. Training is testing is training. You've got to try. You've got to see. That wasn't quite 0% training difficulty. That was 25%, 30% training difficulty. Some good questions, yeah. Outdoors. I'm nearly always able to do more power. But part of this little series was maybe to see if I could, or what the difference was, indoors and out, just for fun, I suppose. 400 watts for 2 minutes, 380 for 2 minutes, 410 for 2 minutes. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the the idea behind this, my career 26. But I decided 6 weeks ago that my target was to do it before April. So when April comes, I'm not going to try and do it again. I'm only doing it for this phase because I'm taking 2 weeks off in April. So I just, to give myself a little bit of a target and something to aim for, I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this before I took that break. But when I come back from that break, I won't be doing it. I won't be trying to do it. Yeah, sorry, I didn't even show you the graph. It's because I was trying to catch up with the chat. No, I don't think that'll be a PB. Oh, well, it's very close. Yeah, it's really close, actually. Really close. Yeah, gotta be pleased with that, because we learn things. Gotta be pleased with it. A lot to take away from it. Sorry, Lee. Thanks for reminding me. No, it's not a dumb question. It's a really good question, actually, about using erg mode. But the problem with erg mode is I would probably hit the wall. I would fatigue way faster because it doesn't feel natural. The resistance would feel really odd when you're pushing, that higher watt. So I would always advise not using erg mode for efforts where you're going to a point of exhaustion. Because the resistance is somewhat unnatural on the legs, and you'll probably come to a halt way before. Thank you, Crank, and thank you for the super chat as well. I appreciate it. Hey, Top Cat, how you doing, buddy? The Top Cat method doesn't work. No, I always wanted to do it. I sorry if I'm sounding like a broken record. I said I was going to do it indoors, and I said I was going to do it outdoors. Outdoors weather permitting, but there's nothing stopping me scrapping the outdoor and just trying to do it again indoors. It's far more convenient, to be honest, and it gives me something tangible to aim for. But yeah, indoors is brutal. You're right, Albie. Yeah, indoors is brutal. But I know some of you were at the very start of this 6 weeks ago. Some of you were asking for me to maybe try it on erg mode, but I'm just reluctant to do that because of how it feels. I tried it before in the past, and it really does. I think it wears you down a lot quicker. A couple of other things to point out as well. So obviously, that was still successful. That was still successful in terms of sort of a voyage of discovery, because I was able to commit and hang on to 400 watts for 10 minutes, and then it started to sort of fizzle off. But even though it fizzled off quite a bit, the average actually still for 15 minutes is quite high. Is quite high when you compare that to my best ever. So that's really promising. It's really promising. Those of you in the chat who have been saying about starting easier next time, you're definitely you're definitely right. Obviously, because I want to survive longer than that 10-minute mark. But what this gives us is a real tangible number to focus on, and I can ride just below that now, and hopefully last, maybe another 5 minutes. That takes us to 15 minutes, maybe 390 watts. And then it's just a case of hanging on for the last 5 minutes, like I said in the warm up. But I think I don't think 400 watts is possible. That's between you, me, and the shed. Those of you that are still watching, I don't think 400 watts is possible right now. I don't think 400 watts is possible in the next 7 days. Purely based on the shape that I'm in. What I have to remember is I set myself this goal, but the goal is really just to see how much power I can do for 20 minutes. The 400 watts is an arbitrary goal. 400 watts is a round number. I've come very close to it in previous years. I've done 393, I think is my best ever all time. But I think I can get close to that again. What will be really important, and this is why it matters, to me. This is why nobody should compare, and this is, you know the score. Don't compare yourself to other people, and all that kind of stuff. But it matters to me because if I was to do this in March, then this would be crazy. This would be way better than I've ever, this would be as strong as I've ever been for 20 minutes this early in the year, basically. So I thought, given that I was going to take some time off in April, this would be a really nice goal to have. It's an arbitrary goal, but it's a goal nonetheless, and I want to try and focus on it. And let's see how close I can get at 400 watts. Whether I succeed or fail is neither here nor there. I just want to commit to the training and to push myself to do it. I'm pretty certain I can do 400 watts for 20 minutes. I just don't think I can do it in March. I think I can come close to that 390. I definitely think I can do that. But everything has to align, and but what it does is, as what you've just asked, Matt, I think I can definitely do it. Later in the season. Although later in the season it won't be as much of a focus, as I'll be doing Étape de Tour de France and those kind of events. However, the British Hill Climb Championships is a 13-14 minute time trial effort, essentially. So I will probably look at revisiting this in November, December. I know it's a long time away, but at the end of the day, when I'm racing and stuff, I have to train for the races. So trying to train to improve a 20-minute power number is very, it never really lends itself to any kind of race unless you're doing a 20-minute race or a time trial, 10-minute time trial and stuff like that. So so that's a long time to wait. But there's nothing stopping me trying, going for it, throughout the season. My only concern is, I'm sorry, I'm rambling on a lot now. I'll let you go in a minute, but the only reason why I think I'd struggle to do it indoors during the summer is because it's so hot in here. It'll be like 30 degrees, 35 degrees, and I won't be able to do it. So so that's why I'm trying to do it now. Yeah, I have thought about doing that event. It's one that's on the list. I think it's a ballot entry. No, I think I've missed the entry this year. I'm pretty sure I've missed the entry. So, again, I better take a photo of this graph. Proof. My heart rate was very high today as well. I'm definitely fresh. I think I'm definitely fresh. The other thing as well is, it might be worth mentioning, but I've had some. Well, Charlie's ill currently. Again. And I have not had the best time on the toilet over the last couple of days. Is that too much information? Read into it what you will, but yeah, it's there's some more excuses there. No, that's too much information. I apologize. Oh, nice, you got into it. Awesome. Yeah. It's nothing like something that big to keep you motivated over the summer to train, though. Hey, thank you, Crank Tickr. I'm going to wrap things up in a minute. Yes, Jeff. I tell that to I tell that to the folks that I coach. You know, it's at the end of the day, your body can only give what it can give on the day, and yeah, sometimes you know it's not the day, and because I'm not actually specifically training for an event as such, I'm just trying to train for a specific performance and number. Then I'm getting very selective with my days, so I guess I have a little bit of flexibility. So, it's Thursday today. It's only the 26th of March. We've got until Wednesday next week to still try and push that and see if we can get any closer. That'll be awesome. I lost 34 watts on the toilet. I don't quite think it was 34 watts, but. I know I only did 366, but that's not technically an accurate 20-minute effort there. But yeah. What do you mean you lose all the good stuff? You lose all the crap stuff. Pun intended. Oh man, 25-hour weeks on the turbo trainer. Let's give him a round of applause. That is some going. 25 weeks on the turbo trainer. Fair play. Awesome. Putting in the work. That is great to see. That is awesome to see. Alright. I don't want to get cold down here. So, yeah, it was still worthwhile streaming it. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate everybody who, was hyping it up in the chat. And I know I didn't have the chat on, but I could feel the chat. Yeah, I could feel the chat pushing me on. Like I said, it's not a done deal. We still got until next Wednesday. So we'll see. We will see. It's not over until it's over. And it's given me something to work on. It's definitely given me something to work on. So I'm happy I committed to that, and see where we get to in the next week. Let's go. Let's go. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate you all. I'll see you next time. Take care.